sit down and think is something that it's a remarkable thing, and I think it really inspires people and helps people and probably helps you to do it. And as making a movie is also a different kind of marathon. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. But I think that, I don't know, I'm in a way, when you talk so much, I'm kind of jealous of not having moments where you don't have to talk.
Over here.
Is Tim DeChristopher still in jail?
No, he's not in jail anymore.
When did he get out?
So
I just want to ask
Tim got out. Actually, Tim was the very first person accepted to Harvard Divinity School while in federal prison. And he, I think he went there 1 or 2 semesters already, and now he's on a sabbatical. And he's been traveling with film quite a bit.
So he did have to do the entire...
He did 21 months. 21 months.
Wow. Because I was
the interview
really
with
thinking...
Tim in the film is still relatively early. It was right before he went to jail.
That was amazing. That was amazing how you did
Tim's
that.
an amazing dude.
Yeah,
And
I'm in love.
he's an incredible leader.
Before she grabs this away from me, can I just finish real quick?
Oh, sorry.
I just thought it was very interesting that, was it last year when Obama pardoned a bunch of people in jail in federal prison? If you compare the people that he pardoned, I mean, no offense to the people he pardoned, I'm glad for them, but this was just such a huge thing, like a huge irony, a huge hypocrisy. You would think, I mean, you know, we all know how it works and everything.
I'll tell you what Tim told me. Obama's not on our side.
Well, yeah, that's, I mean,
Obama
well,
is the
any
president
one
with 10 minutes in
person,
prison.
she's going to grab this away from me, so let me just say this real quick. That's the thing, like, I would like to know realistically, I love Bernie Sanders, and I wish Hillary were a little bit of Bernie Sanders or whatever, and I admire Obama, and I wish he had the power to do more and everything. But the reality is that you guys will pat each other on the back about your cute little trip, but people are dying. And people are grabbing this away from me. No, I love you. No, you have no idea that, look how few people are here. You're going to be packed in the city. Manhattan is full of people. You're going to have an amazing event.
We don't know. We're hoping so.
No, you will.
Let me just, can I respond to some of the things that you said?
Sure.
So, Tim Christopher, when Obama administration ruled that auction illegal, they threw out the whole proceedings. Tim actually successfully brought it to the attention of the administration that this was an illegal proceeding. They still prosecuted him, and in federal court, and they disallowed him to use climate change as a defense. Like, he couldn't tell the jury why he did what he did.
Okay.
They didn't allow him to do that.
So we just don't have a lot of
Until the
context for this, and I'm sorry, we just don't know, and so we can continue this.
But I did want to say this.
Okay.
You don't have to wish anything about Hillary Clinton. Just go out and make Bernie win.
Yeah.
Then she goes away. She goes away. If Bernie wins New York, I think we win the nomination. It's that important. And I don't think we win it for Bernie. I think we know that this has been a permanent state of revolt and revolution from us here in New York on these issues, whether it was fracking, Occupy, or all of these movements that have been springing up across the world. And they're very, very important to strengthen. And that's why I like the campaign, because it's a convergence of those movements.
Right. Is there one more question that we have for John?
Is that all the time we have time for?
That's, well, actually, something we have 10 more minutes.
Great.
Thank you.
Hold on, can we have somebody else? Is that okay? Because I want to hear from many audience members. I appreciate your points.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Somebody else.
Every day at work and in my extended family, I hear the same thing whenever this subject comes up, because now it's coming up almost every day, at least a few times a week. And those that I work with, and like I said, extended family, all say the same thing. Oh, there's always been climate change, and this is just another thing that's happening, because there are a lot of people out there saying this because they're on the other side and they want us to believe this. So I would like to know what you all would suggest for people like me to respond to this.
So my background, my day job is as a cancer researcher, so I have a doctorate in molecular biology, and I do a lot of science communication. And I think for myself, it depends on if the person is actually open to changing their mind. So if their position is one based on willful ignorance and they just want to believe that it's not true so they don't have to act, they don't have to change, they can vote for a Republican or whatever that is like a belief or some kind of faith that is not based in fact. If it's a person who's actually rational and willing to listen to facts, then the science is completely settled, 100% clear. Climate change is happening, it is real, and it is man-made. And that there's a scientific consensus in the field. And if you reject science, then there's not really any way to argue with someone on this. But there is a scientific consensus in this field. It is real, science is changing rapidly, increasingly rapidly, the more time that goes on. And, you know, for folks that are like my father's age, he's in his early 70s, in his lifetime, he can remember back to his childhood versus what things are like now and see for himself, have in his own lifetime perceived climate change. And in my lifetime, I've perceived climate change. Like the ice festival we used to do where everybody went ice fishing on the lake, it doesn't happen anymore because the lake doesn't freeze ever anymore. So there are things that you can perceive for yourself that will prove this to you, but there is a lot of science behind this. It is clear, and anything you hear to the contrary is cherry-picked information that is not supported by peer-reviewed scientific literature. So I think it's like most of the time I just don't argue with people who have a faith-based approach to climate change, that they believe it. I don't have a belief about climate change. I don't believe climate change is true. It is fact. I don't have a belief in that. That is just the state of fact.
One of my biggest conclusions from the march and from connecting to all the people we connected to, which is also really deepened by this film, is that it's really easy to deny climate change when it's presented as an abstract scientific or political concept. And it's really difficult to deny something when it's connected to humanity and human reality and human stories. So I really like what you said about the Ice Festival, because that's a concrete experience from your life. And nobody can deny concrete experiences from our lives. Or if they try to, it's a lot harder to do. And I think that one of the challenges of communicating climate change in a way that reaches people's hearts is that it is a very, very massive and in some ways kind of abstract problem. And so just in this film, hearing people say again and again and again, not only is humanity and human faces and human stories one of the major solutions to the climate crisis, it's also one of the major tools of communication. And actually something that I'm working on now in connection to the march, which I think is really one of the most important things that could come out of it, is a video and music and visual art project as well, documenting the human stories of a lot of the people we met on that journey. And I think when people see and hear those, they realize, oh, I'm denying the existence and the experience of actual human beings.